I want to move on and talk about what happened with Brandon. This is the car door, Brandon's car door of his black Tesla that happened on October of 2019. This is the car door of Brandon's Tesla that he was driving on October 2nd, 2019, when he was shot at. And I'm going to go through the timeline of what we know concerning Brandon, what happened that morning, and what the state will likely lay out, likely in their opening statement, and as the trial progresses. On October 2nd, 2019, Brandon Boudreaux was residing on Phelps Street in Gilbert, Arizona. That morning, he left his residence at approximately 7:25 a.m., took his children to school, dropped off his youngest with his soon-to-be ex-wife, and went to the gym. Around 8:40 a.m., a neighbor was backing out of his driveway and observed a Jeep parked next to Boudreaux's driveway. The Jeep was parked so the front of the Jeep was facing the front of a white SUV. The neighbor noted that the Jeep was running, had tinted windows, and a Texas license plate. The neighbor had never seen this Jeep before. At approximately 8:48 a.m., another neighbor was walking his dogs when he saw a Jeep parked with the front of the Jeep facing the front of a white van in front of Boudreaux's residence. I'll pause right there. Makes me wonder if these neighbors are going to be called to testify. I wouldn't doubt it. The neighbor noticed the Jeep was running, that the driver's seat was pushed all the way forward to the steering wheel, and he could not see in the back of the Jeep due to tinted windows. Another pause. Imagine you are going on a walk in your neighborhood and you see a Jeep that's running, parked in front of a house of your neighbor, and the driver's seat is all the way forward to the steering wheel, and you can't see the back because the windows are tinted. You can't see inside the Jeep. It obviously caught these neighbors enough off guard that they took note of it. Boudreaux returned home approximately 9:13 a.m. I want to pause here again. Brandon has said publicly in testimony that nobody knew where he lived. Very few people knew where he lived, I should say. He was in the process of getting a divorce from Melanie. Melanie Boudreaux is Lori's niece. And remember, Melanie was close with Lori, so much so that she moved to Idaho to be by her, and was going through this divorce with Brandon. Brandon was listed on the dark scale by Chad and Lori, and Brandon had moved out into this home, and hardly anybody knew that this is where he was living. But Alex knew, and apparently Lori and Chad knew, Melanie knew, and this is at 9:13 a.m. He returns home from the gym in this car. As he approached his driveway, he slowed as his Tesla began opening the garage door. As Boudreaux slowed, he noticed a Jeep parked next to his driveway. Boudreaux watched as the rear window of the Jeep lifted up and a rifle barrel pointed out the rear window. Boudreaux heard a loud bang and his driver's side window shattered. Boudreaux hit the gas and drove away from his house. Boudreaux called 911 and returned to his house. We have the 911 call on our YouTube channel at East Idaho News. I won't play it for you now. It's on there. When Boudreaux put his Tesla in park, the driver's door automatically opened and the driver's side glass window fell out of the frame onto the driveway. This is, I don't know if you can tell on the screen, but this picture, that's empty. You can see kind of the frame of the window there, and there's no glass in it. It fell down. It's amazing he was not hit by that bullet. When police arrived, they noticed the hole in the driver's door frame and the driver's side glass laying on the driveway. Police recognized the hole as being made by a bullet. Gilbert police detectives went to the scene, took photographs of the street where the shooting occurred, the glass in the street, the white van, an area around the white van that was mentioned by neighbors, the Tesla in the driveway, the gunshot hole in the doorframe of the Tesla, and the driver's side window that was laying in the driveway. The police also took photos of the Tesla with a trajectory rod in the bullet hole and the bullet fragments that they collected from the doorframe. The Gilbert police report and impound sheets showing that the Tesla and driver's side window were not impounded, showing that they had not been impounded, were disclosed to the defendant back in 2023. On October 2nd, 2019, Lori Vallow and her co-conspirator Alex Cox were living in Rexburg. In the days leading up to October 2nd, Lori Vallow provided her deceased husband's 2018 Jeep Wrangler to her co-conspirator Alex Cox to drive to Arizona to shoot Brandon Boudreaux. This is what the prosecution is saying. Before Alex drove to Gilbert, he took the 2018 Jeep Wrangler to a tint shop in Rexburg to tint the windows so no one would see him in the rear of the Jeep as he lay in wait for Boudreaux to return home. On October 1st, Lori Vallow rented a storage unit in Rexburg. While Alex Cox was driving the Jeep to Arizona to shoot Boudreaux, Lori Vallow stored the Jeep's spare tire and rear bench seat in her storage unit. While Alex Cox was committing the shooting in Gilbert, Lori was in the possession of her co-conspirator's cell phone in Rexburg, so she kept Alex's phone as he was in Arizona. On October 2nd, at 8:02 a.m., the defendant used her co-conspirator's cell phone to call her cell phone to make it appear that her co-conspirator was in Rexburg, Idaho at the time of the shooting. All right, you got all that? So, Alex missed Brandon and then drove home to Idaho. And the timing of him, he would have had to drive, based on some video I'm going to show you here in just a minute, he would have had to drive pretty much straight. I've done that drive. It's about 13 hours from Idaho Falls. From Rexburg, it'd be about 14. And he would have had to pretty much drive straight there and straight back. He was on his mission, according to all the court documents in the story, to kill Brandon and then turn around and leave. And he happened to do it from the Jeep that belonged to Charles Vallow that Tylee Ryan eventually took possession of. But of course, in beginning of October of 2019, Tylee was no longer alive. I want to show you the police body camera footage that happened, that was taken the morning that Brandon was shot. It's a little blurry because that's the way the police released it to us. They have not released the full footage unblurred. That will come out at trial. But because Brandon is a victim, they've released it the way that they have. And this will kind of give you a flavor, a feel for the events of that morning as Brandon Boudreaux came close to losing his life in his own driveway.
Hi there. So what's going on?
Someone just shot my window out.
Okay, give me a little bit more than that.
Yeah, so I was just pulling in.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed a green Jeep Wrangler.
Okay.
It's like a pukey green
Okay.
color. Had a Texas plate.
Mm-hmm.
I just moved in like a week ago, so I
Okay.
thought maybe it was just my neighbor.
Okay.
So as I was kind of pulling in, they lifted their like back window.
Okay.
I saw a muzzle. They shot.
Are we talking a real gun,
I don't-
a BB gun?
It's got to be like a BB gun or an airsoft.
Okay,
It was
so
loud.
they shot, then what happened?
It hit my window, and instead of turning in, it scared me really bad.
Okay.
I thought, I'm getting shot at, so I drove straight. So
Okay.
I drove straight really fast.
Okay.
Pulled around the corner, got my phone out, called 911, sat there, drove a little further up. I watched them come around the corner.
What do you mean coming around the corner? Come around the corner where?
So I drove up there. I drove
Okay.
to this street.
Gotcha.
made a right, went a little further.
Okay.
Parked by, there's a park right there.
So he went northbound on that
Northbound.
street.
Turned right, and I watched him turn right down here, and I knew there was only one way out of this neighborhood.
Okay.
It was on Pecos and Wrecker, so I told that to the dispatcher.
Okay, so he was on Wrecker. He went, but you don't know if he went onto Pecos. You just know Wrecker Road.
Well, he didn't get on Wrecker. He stayed on this, and he came out on. He had to have gone out on Pecos because that's the only way.
Oh, he stayed in the neighborhood. He did not go out to Wrecker. I got you covered. Okay.
And I was nervous, so I was kind of waiting because I didn't want him to follow me.
So we don't know where, if he went on Pecos, left, right.
I don't. I didn't follow him anymore. I was a little uncomfortable.
Okay. 11 Paul 22, just for information on units, left the neighborhood south toward Pecos and unknown from that location. Okay.
So it was really loud, so that's why I didn't think it was a BB gun, but it could have been maybe
Well,
gun.
let's look. So you were just pulling into the driveway. They were sitting here.
Yeah, so I was
So were they facing then west? Because if they opened the back?
Yeah, he opened the back, and there had to have been two people, I think, because
Okay.
were so quick. So they were parked right here,
Right, facing that way.
facing towards this van.
Gotcha.
And so my window was like perfectly aligned because I was kind of starting to pull in.
Okay, so you didn't totally pull in yet. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can see my window shattered, but it didn't go through, which means it couldn't have been a real bullet. And I didn't think about that.
Oh. Whoa. Hello. Is that
Sorry,
who's?
automatic.
Okay, I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah, oh wow, I didn't see that.
Yeah. Is this going to shut on me if I get close?
No, because I'll
Okay.
put the key inside.
Well, I don't think that's a BB gun.
One friend calling us, Ninja 459. It's been holding for over 2 hours.
Alright.
District 6.
Alright, so it looks like they shot up anything. It'd be there. Alright, so you just moved in.
Yeah.
Okay, you just moved. Okay, so was this a vacant home at the time?
Previously, yeah. It's
Okay.
a rental.
Alright. So you're the owner though right now? Or you still
the lease.
you're okay, so you're just renting it. Did the
One friend
owners
calling.
of the house, can I open?
Yeah.
Is this, how do you open this door? Go ahead.
Right.
Ah, look at you.
Sorry.
That's pretty sweet.
One friend 12, Officer Taylor.
Anyway, did the owners of the house say anything to you who was renting the house before you or anything?
No.
Alright. Do you have any enemies? Anybody that you...
I just went through a divorce. There was some crazy stuff that happened with her aunt killed her husband, but I would hope that has nothing to do with this.
Okay. Did you live here in the valley before? Where'd you move from?
10 years.
I'm sorry?
I've lived here for 10 years.
Okay, so you moved, where'd you move from? Here in Gilbert,
I just
or?
sold a house over on Quinn, just right by the
Okay. And no issues at work, no issues, enemies or anything? Okay.
Other than the only people that I could even think of would be that group. But,
The family?
Yeah.
Your ex-wife's?
yeah.
All right. It's kind of weird. All right, let me grab my camera and get some pictures. All right, so you were coming here. Did it look like a long rifle? Did it look like a rifle type?
Yeah, it looked like a rifle or something. Like there was a muzzle. There was like some kind of a muzzle thing on it.
Mm-hmm.
And they just lifted up the back gate and shot.
Okay. So they were shooting this way. Okay. All right. Were you about right here?
Right here.
Okay.
I saw the tailgate lift up.
Yeah.
Pointed the gun at me. Shot.
Okay, so it would have
I
went.
heard a loud boom.
Yeah.
My window shattered, and then I just.
Right. I'm trying to figure out the trajectory. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. Okay, there's nothing.
It's stuck in there.
You think so?
Absolutely.
That's what I was wondering, but I don't see. It's got to be back in here. I'm not touching. Anyway.
Who's pissed off at you?
Now, the green you're talking about, are we talking that type of green?
Like a hunter green?
Like a pukey green.
Okay, that's kind of more of a pukey green. Are we talking a chartreuse? I know it sounds like got a gazillion colors, green.
Let me just try and find it on my nest.
Look at your nest. He's got a nest.
Oh.
Right there.
Wow, fantastic. Do you have is that your car registered to you? The driver, or your registration? Okay, I'll just get all your information off of that real fast. So what would you say, how many minutes before you called us did this happen?
I just called right as soon as it happened.
Okay, fantastic. Now, were you able to, because you're coming in, they're facing that way, so you're not going to be able to see. When they passed you, when you were parked, were you able to see any description of these people? Was it a guy, a girl, anything? Okay.
I was trying to make sure I had enough distance in case they shot at me.
Okay. And you said you saw, when you saw, you could see the barrel. You think it was a long rifle, not a handgun?
Yeah, and it had like some kind of like a silencer or something on it.
Okay.
That's why it's like maybe it wasn't a gun but it was so loud.
Okay.
Can I sit down?
Sure, sure. Do you have I was going to say, do you have a chair or something that we can get you?
I have some chairs. I just want to sit down.
Okay, sure, sure, no problem at all.
It's kind of hitting me, you know.
Is there anybody else here? Are you the only person that lives here? Is there anybody here that?
My kids live here with me.
Okay. No other adults? Okay, is there somebody we can call to come here to be with you?
Yeah, in a minute. Let's go.
Okay, you go ahead and you take your time, whatever you need, okay? Can I get you a bottle of water?
I got one over there. I'm fine. I just want to sit down.
Sure, no
Is there
problem
anybody
at
else
all.
here with you, buddy?
No.
Nobody else is here at the house? What do you do for a living?
I own a couple businesses.
Okay.
I know I have a lot of questions. I apologize. Is it a 2-door or a 4-door Jeep Wrangler?
Looks like a 2-door.
All right. I'm going to get some maps and stuff like that. I'm going to be making some notes, so just hang tight, okay?
All right, so that is just a portion of the video. All in all, it was about 20 minutes that we have. The rest of the stuff that I kind of cut out for editing purposes was the officer in her car and asking questions. But you can see what happened that morning, and that is the car there that Lori Vallow wants, is upset that she doesn't have to have her own expert test it. I mean, I don't know what they're testing for, bullet fragments or whatnot, but that would be her argument. And fortunately, as I said, Brandon was okay.